Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing my client Krista's nails and this is a mystery mani. The last set was a mystery mani also. So we're starting off by removing that set, just using my Gel X bit here from Erica's ATA. Just getting all that old gel polish off. We're just doing a gel polish manicure. So I'm definitely using the Gel X bit because that one, as confusing as that is, Gel X bits are not for removing Gel X, they're for removing, from Erica's ATA, this is very specific to that. They are for removing gel polish, whereas like the T-Rex bit is more coarse and it's made for removing thicker stuff. But this is just a gel mani on my client, so I'm using the Gel X bit because I don't want to get through all of that product too fast, if that makes sense. I forget what my client said happened here. She lost, oh, I think she was rafting. I think she was rafting in the river and something happened and her boat got stuck. And so she lost her middle finger and her thumb. They both cracked in half. So lost to water sports. But yeah, everything else was in good shape aside from those two. So I'm just doing the prep. We got that gel polish off, leaving a thin layer of clear below because I try to avoid touching the natural nail as often as possible. And then we push back the cuticles and then I'm just going in with a little, what's this bit called again? I don't know, a little bit, a little cuticle bit. And I am just lifting the cuticle up and getting any of that dead protein off of the nail plate while exfoliating the sidewalls as well. And yeah, so I go in forward mode and I do the left side of the nail. And then once I do the entire hand, I flip it into reverse and I do the right side of the nail. So that way you're always getting the resistance. Does that make sense? You can do it actually all in one way, but you just have to flip your hand in a different way. So I could do it all in forward, but I would just have to be running basically the e-file upside down as I'm coming across from the right side to the left side. Yeah. And then after trimming the cuticles, I pop the Gel X bit back in because we're taking off some of the length. So just to speed that up, my client does actually have really thick natural nails. So just to speed that up, and because I have gel still on there, I don't want to use nail clippers because I don't want to crack the gel that's remaining. Because that can cause issues down the line if I don't notice it and there's some lifting or whatever. So instead I used my e-file to get rid of some of that length. And now I'm just going through with my hand file and I'm shaping things up, taking off any extra length that I might need to, and getting everything into that kind of, my client likes an almondy shape. She likes definitely on the pointier side of things, but because the length is short, we can only take it so far because you don't want to sacrifice sidewalls. But yeah, like I said, her nails are extremely strong. She doesn't usually have issues with breaking, which is good. And then I'm just running over the nails with the sandy band. This is one from Erica's ATA. It's, I forget what they're called, Zebra. It's the white kind. But I'm lightly going over the natural nail just to etch that up. And I'm also removing any color gel that was left behind from the previous set, as well as smoothing out the gel that I had left behind. So now I'm just going in, wiped off the nails with alcohol. I don't use any primer or prep products, just isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free wipe. And then once that dries up, I'm going in with my zombie base. We love a zombie base. And I'm scrubbing that into the natural nail. So you can see, it's kind of hard to tell in fast forward, in fast motion, that I'm kind of like scrubbing it into the grooves of the natural nail. As my hand almost looks like it's vibrating, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm kind of smoothing out the product on top. But the most important part really is to scrub it into all those etches in the nail plate and in the gel that's left behind, because that's what the new base coat is going to want to adhere to. And once that hand is fully coated, then I'm going in, I'm painting this nail, and you're not going to see, but I'm going to paint the thumb as well in black. And then we're going in with the Rozyhip Quartz collection, which is so pretty. If you saw my swatching video, it was the video just before this one. I swatched the Quartz collection just on its own, but I was wanting to try it over black, and so this is one of the shades over black. It's so cool. Watch when I magnetize, it literally looks like a marble, like a cat's eye marble. It's so pretty. So I'm fussed around with the magnet a lot in this video, just playing with the magnet gel to see where I want the design to end up. But so for the nails over black, obviously I'm layering cat eye over black. But for the other nails, I'm doing 2 coats. So for the first coat, I'm just laying down, I'm not magnetizing, and then I'm curing it. And then for the second coat, I'm going in and I'm magnetizing that second coat. So again, bringing it back to that video that I posted before, swatching this set, I just did 1 layered magnetized. These gels are pretty sheer, so it doesn't make the world's biggest difference, but I just wanted a bit more coverage for the design that I'm doing. So you can see I'm definitely getting a bit more of that coverage through the second coat application, and then once we get in with the magnet, the shift is really good. I don't know what I decided I needed to, I don't know if I wanted more gel on there or if I wanted just to reset the design. I decided I had to do it, so can't tell you why. And then yeah, like I said, I'm gonna fuss around with the magnet a lot. I feel like especially because it's a new collection, new magnet gel collection, I'm getting used to the way everything's moving, but also, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I had decided what kind of magnetization I wanted to be doing right away. If I wanted to do different on some nails, like more of like the J action, or if I wanted to shove all the glitter particles kind of into the center of the nail. So, you know, I'm just doing a bit of it all. I actually love this color. It's so pretty. It's like almost gives a grayish vibe with like a bit of a tealy reflect. It's not the same color as the one I put on the pinky. That one's a lot more like yellowy. But yeah, these are really, really beautiful. And it's so interesting to see that shade on the middle finger layered over black. It really does make the hugest difference. So I'm still curious to layer all of the colors from this collection over black just to see how that looks. So maybe I'll do that in a future vlog or something. Oh, and then this is the Ultra Flash collection. I'm layering the Ultra Flash from Rozyhip over top of this nail because I wanted to try it with a bit of glitter. And this is the Cocoist, what's this called? Cocoist Accessory Bond in black. I love this product for chrome, for doing chrome stuff. So I'm going to be using this, but I also am going to be embedding little beads into it, which is great because it is an accessory bond, so it does work for that. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. I will say, before this, I didn't film this on camera. I'm still working on figuring out products, but I did lay down a clear gel because I'm going to be doing isolated chrome. Now, let me know if you guys have any recommendations, actually. There are tons of great matte products that layer really well and are great for isolated chrome, but sometimes I find the matte products can dull the sparkle of magnet gels. Do you have any products that you love for isolated chrome that you find don't dull the sparkle? I'm on the hunt. I haven't tried too many products. The best one I've used so far is definitely the MD matte top coat. I'll link that down below. But I want to see what everyone else is using. So I'm still kind of on the hunt for that. My preference would actually be a non-matte product. And I know the nail whisperer, Dylan Pritchard, I think his full name is. He talks about how you can sometimes just use builder gels and just give them a really, really good wipe until they get squeaky. So basically I'll usually wipe off the sticky layer with an alcohol wipe and then go back in with more alcohol after until I literally hear the surface of the nail squeak, and then I know it's good. Now that doesn't work for all builder coats, but I know that works for some. So I kind of want to try that out and see if I can find something in that realm that works, because I feel like that would be a great option. Okay, so basically I just applied the coats, I put the beads on, and then I got my client to stick her hand into the light for 60 seconds. And now I'm moving on to the other hand. While that hand is, or when that hand finishes up, I tell my client to immediately give me her hand. And then I'm gonna pause on doing this hand and I'm gonna immediately apply the chrome to the other hand. Because you can over cure like a chrome coat and then chrome doesn't stick to it as well. So by getting it right away, then I'm just like securing that the chrome is gonna work, and I always think that when the nail is still a bit warm, it seems to work better. So I'm just using a little makeup triangle sponge here to apply the silver chrome on top of the black. I do think the black actually looked really cool looking at it now in hindsight, but I also really like the silver because I'm using gold beads, so I like the mixed metals. But then once I've applied the chrome to that hand, then I'm going back to the other hand to finish up that design. The nice thing with this Coco's product is it doesn't really self-level that much. So it really holds its place exactly where you put it, which makes for things like pausing on your design super doable because you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. But I know that I think they make this gel also in a clear. I haven't tried the clear, I've only ever tried the black. And I'm a huge fan. It's what I really use for almost all of my isolated chrome. Even if I'm doing like thinner detailing, I'll still just use this and just use a small amount of product because I think it's really, really good. And then I'm just grabbing my little wax pen thing and sticking the little beads in. I really like how this design ended up. I feel like it was initially I was thinking very like underwater, but I feel like it's also kind of alien. Underwater alien? I don't know, I really like it. It's super cute, and I really like the color combination of the magnet gels. The Rozyhip Ultra Flash collection, it's really, really fun. And I'll have everything I've used linked down below, so be sure to check that out if you like. Most of the products I use are from Sweden Nail Supply, so you can use code Rebecca for 10% off. I am a brand ambassador. And now I'm just filing around the free edge just to make sure that the top coat has something to stick to, making sure that there's no chrome there. Oh, I forgot to film this as well, but you guys know I always say whenever you're using beads, you need to apply something over top of the beads, especially when they're like a metal finish bead, so that the finish doesn't wear off. So I went around with a bit of the Jinbei Ivy Fix in the tube, and I just put a bit of that onto the beads, and then I cured that first, and now after that's been cured, now I'm going over with the Jinbei Ivy Fix, Crazy Top Thick. I like using the Crazy Top Thick when I'm doing chrome detailing or isolated chrome moments like this, because I find it's quite sturdy and it's quite thick. So it'll usually keep my chrome detailing locked in place with nothing disturbing it. I am flipping the hand upside down just to get a bit of self-leveling, but here we are. Here is the finished product after we've cured. There's a nice mix of magnet gel. We've got some flash gel from the Ultra Flash collection. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.